Hello, everybody. I hope you all are doing well and everything's going great for you in life. Today, I have a very, personally, I would say it's a very useless video. So if you don't care about such things as drama or like community feelings about the game, um, feelings in quotations, it's mostly doom posting and rage baiting and blah 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 blah. It's all that. But I want to touch upon like the premise and the intention, at least, is to touch upon the reception NG4 has had now that the honeymoon phase is almost over. It's been near a month since this game has come out. I think in 2 days it'll be a full month since the game has been released. Um, so for the most part, I want to see the roller coaster that people have went through with this game so far, playing it, watching it, or just being on the sidelines, spreading misinformation, whatever it is. But to sum it up, and as much as I would like to bring up quotes and tweets and comments and such and such and such, I'd rather not put anybody directly on blast. That's not the intention of me to call out people or make fun of them or anything like that. This is just I want to have like a historical video per se, right? Like if 10 years, if you come back here and watch this and laugh about it because NG5 is out and now everybody loves NG4 and everybody hates NG5, because that's been the thing. So if I can refresh you guys' memory a bit, NG3 came out. Now, granted, NG3 is shit, but Razor's Edge completely fixed the main problem NG3 had, which was the combat was horrible, and NG3's combat is like now, especially now, is known to be the best in the franchise. If you prefer something else, that's fine, but it's objectively it is the best in the franchise, and I will hear nothing of it. The funny thing that happened after NG4 came out is that all the haters and naysayers about NG3 Razor's Edge have gone back and played Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. More so, I see more Ninja Gaiden 3 clips nowadays than I do see Ninja Gaiden 4 clips. And on the funny thing on that, I try to keep it not zigzagging as much, but initially, everybody was like, oh, NG2 is the best one. NG3 sucks. So, like, don't play NG3, just go play NG2, it's the best one. Play OG or play Sigma, and then no one says play Sigma 2, everybody hates Sigma 2. But, like, play Black, it's like it looks good, it's missing. No, people would praise 2 in every way they can, and while actively shitting on 3 because it was the most recent one, right? And that has shifted. That has very, very conveniently shifted after the release of Ninja Gaiden 4. Everybody now is on the fence of that Ninja Gaiden 4 sucks, just go play 3, man. And it's funny because everybody is. So many people have bought the Master Collection. So many people have got their hands on the OG, like Xbox 360 and PS2 version of Razor's Edge. I've even seen vanilla clips, but like it's not as an enjoyment playthrough, which is again fair enough. 3 is not good. 3 is anyways, there is something. But yeah, that aside, the whole narrative shift of like current one bad, old one better, that has always been a thing in everything. It's not unique to NG. If you're a Final Fantasy fan, you would know better than anybody that when it comes to Final Fantasy, everybody is always the new one sucks, the old ones were better. Pure action's bad, turn-based was better. Clive is bad, Noctis is better. Noctis is bad, Lightning is better. It's always been like current one is never viewed as what it deserves, and then the old one was better. That has always been a thing in everything. Call of Duty, completely from the other side of the fence. Call of Duty. Oh, Black Ops 7's bad. Oh, Cold War was good, or Black Ops 6 was not that bad. Cold War was good. Like it just goes like that. It's like, oh, Modern Warfare 3 was ass. Modern Warfare 2 was better. Modern Warfare 1 is like it kind of goes like that. So that's always been a thing. So I'm not really shocked to see this behavior from people. It's that it's always like they just view it very, very like in a vague sense. It's like, oh, this good, that bad. They don't say why. They don't go in details why this and that. It's just a vague representation of new bad, old good. And I guess I can see it. It's so many different factors can come into play to like why people would think that. One would be like, hey, you're more comfortable with the game. You've been playing the older game for 13 years, for 15 years. Of course you would like it more than this new one that you have to relearn everything and you don't feel as proficient, you don't feel as good. So there's a ego damage, right? You're taking ego damage because you feel like you're not performing as good. So obviously you would lean towards the one that where you're comfortable, where you're more impressive at. So yeah, some people might not relate to this. Everything I say that is not applicable to everybody, of course. I'm trying to articulate what people are saying so far about the game. I've never thought like this. I always try to be objective about everything because I feel like mixing emotions when it comes to the side comparing is always bad because you're always gonna have bias, right? And having bias already taints your vision, and it doesn't make the subject as clear as possible. So, anyways, before I digress too far, for me, it's never been, 3 is better than 4, or like 2 is better than 3, or like 3 is better than all of them. It's like 3's combat. That aspect of it is better than the rest of the Ninja Gaidens. Like, that's literally the most subjective thing I can ever say. 2's story is probably the best out of all the Ninja Gaidens. That could be contested by saying 1 also has a really good story. And it's like, that's valid. They both have amazing stories. Which one's better? It's preference, it's story. It's like comparing like whose music is better. It's like music is extremely subjective, but 2 felt a little bit rushed near the end, of course, and Itagaki-san even admitted to that himself. It's that near the end they had to wrap it up a little bit faster than they intended to, so the end of it feels a little bit like poorly paced. Fair enough. But 1 doesn't feel like that. 1 actually feels like it's a complete package that was not rushed at all to any extent. So it's like, that's probably why 1 is considered to have a better story. And mainly I'm talking about like NG1, Black, and Sigma. Because NG4, I mean, there's some levels that are just cutscenes in that game, funny enough, that were later actually turned... The cutscenes were turned into levels in Sigma and Black, so, that's that. But yeah, there's certain aspects of 4 that are much better than the previous NGs. And there's certain aspects of the older NGs that obviously are better than 4. Like, the story of 4 is nothing to write home about. I have not been shy of saying that. It's like, it probably has the weakest story out of all of them. But it's not a bad story. It's just generic. It's just your cliche generic story. And this is not a review either. It's just, But everybody else says NG4's story is bad. It's the wording that confuses people a lot. It's like, is it a bad story or is it just too normal by today's standard? Storytelling has evolved so much when it comes to like just media. Like, we've seen it all. We've seen the chosen one archetype. We've seen the next of kin, which leans more towards this one. It's not next of kin, but it's a younger generation. This is the story of this one. It's like, hey, the younger generation has to take over. Got really lucky there. And like, you've seen the prophecy archetype. You've seen all these stories millions of times. Like, it's hard to top the best of those archetypes, right? So like, people saying the story is quote unquote bad it's kind of wrong, but it's valid, if that makes any sense. Because like, yeah, by the standards of today, like by 2025 standards of storytelling, sure, it really is a flat storytelling. But like, if you played this story like back in 2005, you would gobble this up and love it. Absolutely. Like, you would absolutely love this one. But, it's, again, the meta has shifted with storytelling. We've seen it all, man. It's hard to top it. And as far as combat goes, the main meta thing people complain about with what we have as a package right now, so I'm not talking about weapons. We all know where everybody stands on that one. I'm not even going to open my own can of worms when it comes to weapons and how Ryu feels and all that, because I have a lot of bad things to say. But so staying away from that for now. I might talk about it at the end of the video to clarify it before somebody jumps to conclusions again. But the main thing people complain about in this game is the targeting is abysmal. Now, that is a very, very valid complaint. But I'm going to say this right now, that 99% of the people that claim the targeting is bad, and I swear I'm not saying this disrespectfully, it is 100% a skill issue on your end if you think the targeting is bad. And I think the reason why you guys generally you guys struggle with it is because of not being familiar how to control a lock-on, because Ninja Gaiden has never had a lock-on feature, so most NG players just flat out are unfamiliar to how to utilize a lock-on. As a DMC player, lock-on is 99% of the combat in that game. Your actions all change depending if you're locked on holding directional inputs or not. A lot of things changes, and if you're proficient DMC players, you're shifting from locked on to not locked on in the matter of half a second between like 5 to 6 different enemies at all times. And just to fucking make sure I wasn't, like just out of my mind, one of my friends was playing the DMC5 yesterday, and I jumped on the game just to clarify this. And yeah, the difference in proficiency in DMC is like how well do you utilize lock on, and how often you can control it and hit what you want to hit. Now, it's not completely applicable to this game because DMC doesn't have something that NG has. NG has a soft lock, and the soft lock, pardon me, is a, you know how usually people struggle to control the camera in the old NG2 and NG1? That's usually the thing people say, I'm always fighting the camera, quote unquote. It feels like that in this game. It feels like you're always fighting the soft lock in this game. Camera is good. You can pan out the camera all the way, and you can increase your sensitivity till you can just tap in 180 in like a matter of like a frame. And that's great. I play like that. That's awesome. I feel like I should actually increase my camera speed a little bit too, just for more proficiency. But the soft lock is behaving very unintentionally and weird. And this is going to be so boring to watch, but bear with me. The lock-on has this weird thing with it that if you're doing iframe moves, like if you're doing a Zuna drop or UTs or Nimpo in this case, as you just saw, actually, that's perfect timing. You can't control the direction of your camera, so you can't aim Nimpos anymore. So that's already very bad. But as you can see, you can't even shift your camera, and worse than that, there is a lockout when you perform iframe moves like Nimpos and like UTs and all that things. There's certain actions you just cannot do when you're coming out of iframe moves. So you are forced to block. It is very rare and risky for you to be able to like slide out of shit if you're coming out of an iframe move. It's very risky, and most of the time you will get hit if you're not mashing out of it. So the problem comes from a little bit of a game design, is that enemies can still target you with their actions while you're in an iframe move. In NG2 and NG3, when you're doing iframe moves like Steel on Bone, like your Izuna drop or UTs, in NG3, what enemies do and prioritize most of the time is just their movement abilities. So they either get closer to you or they just circle around you. And that's NG3s. In NG2, they, depending on the enemy type, they either stay where they are or they close in. And as your iframes are ending, they'll do a grab most of the time, or other times they just do their strings. Their actions is there. And this game works like NG2, is that when you're doing iframe moves, other enemies don't stop anything. They stay around you, unless you're doing OTs. OTs completely halt everything else that other enemies do. But as soon as your OT is halfway finished, the enemies start going back to the normal, and they start closing distance and doing attacks already before you have control of your character again. So often results in you, hey, I can't shift my camera during the OT, right? So you don't know what's going on behind you, and then bam, OT ends, your iframes are gone, and you get instantly hit. And that's part of the targeting. As you saw right there, even though it hits, because the hitbox of this is massive, Kagachi is directly in front of me, yet the Nimpo, because it locked on when he jumped up, it's still shooting in the air. Again, it did hit him somehow, but this is a silly thing, because this was a non-issue that is now an issue. They made a problem for our solution. You could lock on with Nimpo before, and you can aim Nimpo before. Now it's like you can't. You can't even control when you shoot it. It just happens. That's a bad decision, because not only you don't have camera control, the enemy is not stopping to respect your iframes. They're attacking you all the time. And when it comes to multiple enemies, and this is absolutely a fault of the game, So I know I said like 99% of the time not being able to control the camera and like you struggling with it is a skill issue. That 1% is absolutely the game's fault. And it's not even a 1%. That's 1% of the people that don't struggle with the camera. But the game has this weird thing, and I feel like I should change the clip for this so I can show you. But with flying enemies, if you're a certain distance away, I would think like 20 feet in game. If you're 20 feet away from them, 20, 30 feet away from them, you cannot lock on to certain flying enemies, especially the DDO soldiers that are flying around. You do not have the ability to target them, you do not have the ability to lock onto them, and if you are locked onto an enemy, it does not change to the airborne targets. That sucks, because flying enemies are the biggest nuisance that you want to eliminate first because they're range enemies. You usually want to take them out first and foremost. So when the game is not allowing you to lock on and target them, you actually do not have a tool to deal with them. Because you just have to wing it. And because you can't aim Nimpo, you can't just activate Piercing Void and hit him. You can do Inferno and locks onto 3 targets, sure, but like if anyone's in front of you, it's gonna prioritize those guys. So you have to like awkwardly aim your camera like extremely high up so everybody else is not on screen. These are all issues. They have solutions, but they're inconvenient solutions. If you were just be allowed to aim every Nimpo like you can aim Inferno, it would be a little bit more bearable. But the main problem of the lock-on, and again, this is the game's fault, not the players, is the fact that when you're fighting a lot of enemies, when you're coming out of iframes, the game does not allow you to target via directional inputs. You're absolutely stuck, and you're at the mercy of the game soft locking to the correct target. It happened many times in my Purgatory trials when I was doing it because it is a confined small space. And due to that, a lot of enemies are in that small space, and I am actively holding, for example, I'm holding left. I do wind run, which automatically goes towards a target, right? I see the soft lock on set target. I am aiming at that target. My wind run goes completely in a different direction, and my flying swallow goes towards the completely different enemy, which are very inconvenient things that happen. And I'm sure many of you have experienced this. This happens a lot with UTs. You charge a UT, there's an enemy 2 feet in front of you, and somehow your character goes past them to someone that's out of range, and your UT whiffs. That's also a big problem. And again, these are game problems. This is not on the player when the game acts like this. Yes, you can bypass it if you pre-lock on. But again, you can't move your camera when you're coming out of iframe moves. You are locked in. Besides the Zuno drop, you can't change your camera on Nimpos, you can't change your camera on OTs, and you can't change your camera on UTs anymore either. So I don't think you ever could actually, but someone's probably going to correct me on that. And that's a problem. That's a problem that the game is creating for the player, and that doesn't need to be there. So, yeah. And it's weird too, because when you go into photo mode, you can switch your cameras during all these actions. The only action you can switch your camera on is when you're doing the Berserk ultimate. When you're doing the Berserk hits, you can't change your camera, even in photo mode. But in every other iframe action, you can. So it's pretty strange. That is the end of Ryu. I feel like the lock-on should be improved in the sense of that the soft lock needs to not lock the player down as hard as it does. The best solution would be to just add free combat like Devil May Cry, because the soft lock in NG has always been an issue. You've always had to fight it in the sense of like you have to reposition to gain control of your intentions again in the game, if that makes any sense. I mean, like, because again, if you come out of an iframe move immediately, like you OT, you jump, you don't know which target you're targeting because the game decides that for you. You don't have control over it for a few seconds. It's very strange and it feels unintended. So I'll switch to the Purgatory playlist and we can watch those and maybe I can show some examples. But the consensus so far for lock-on has been the biggest downfall of this game so far. A lot of people get really frustrated with the game and a lot of people dislike how it functions. The second biggest thing are hurtboxes and hitboxes. And again, timely enough, I think this is one of the worst bosses when it comes to hurtboxes and hitboxes. Enemies that sweep a lot are infamous of how bad their hurt boxes are. It's like their attack could be like he's swinging his arm could be behind him, but his hitbox is in front of him. So even though his swing has not reached fully in front of him, his hitbox is. So I take the damage despite visually not matching what he's doing, if you guys understand what I'm saying. And the spear guys, their jump attack has like covers your whole TV or monitor. When they jump up, they can hit you out of like I'm not kidding, 10 feet away. It is ridiculous. And a lot of enemies like hurt boxes just don't match the visual representation on screen. It doesn't match the VFX on screen. It doesn't match the range of the arm or length or claws or whatever. It feels really off. And that is, and I'm gonna throw platinum on under the car over this. Oh, I forgot the saying. But yeah, under the bus. Sorry, I'm gonna throw platinum under the bus for this one. Case in point, again, locked on. As you guys can see, you see the yellow lock on there, and it just completely misses. It hits because he's a big target, but like, where is Ryu aiming? Why can't I aim that myself? So that's a lock-on issue. But hitboxes are bad. Really bad, and they need to get improved. They need to be more tight. They need to be more specific, especially when your parry timing is so strict in this game. It's rewarding, don't get me wrong. It's very overpowered. It's more overpowered than Steel on Bone, in my opinion, if you actually know how to parry. But it also takes more skill to actually use it. Take that how you will. You might think it's a parry slop, whatever, but it does take more skill to do the parries in this game than it does doing Steel on Bone on NG3. Or UT spam in NG2. It's like the most dominant things you can do in those games. But yeah, but that being said, hitboxes are a big issue with this game so far, and like they really need to get improved. I know plenty of people have talked about this in videos. I will not, and I will make a point right now saying I will not watch anybody's video or review on this game until the product is completely done getting updated. This is still a, it's not a day one anymore, but it's like it's literally has gone only one patch ever since release. So this is not per se a perfected product yet. This is a vanilla game with one patch on it. Of course it's going to have a lot of flaws. It's 2025. Games do not come out without flaws now, and they're so much harder to make. This takes so much more time, so it's, they're going to be flawed products. So I won't be making a quick review or like talking about the gripes and all that shit. Like, I don't care who made videos on it. I don't care if you agree with them or disagree with them. I will not be watching those till the game is done. After that, after everything's done and addressed and they're done updating the game, I'll pay a visit to those videos and see what people said, because I want to see other people's perspectives so I can, just have more insight. Just want to see what other people's view are. That's one of the reasons why I even made this video, is because I want to address some of the ways people feel. I even ask most of you guys on YouTube, how do you guys feel about the game so far? Like, do you feel like, what are the flaws? What are the gripes you guys have with it? And I got a lot of answers, and most of you were like, yeah, lock-on's bad. Like, the story is like weird. It's Ryu not having weapons. Like, everybody's on the same page with this game for the most part. There's not really too many outlandish things being said, thankfully. But yeah, there's there's always oddballs, and I wanted to see if there's like any like big oddball opinions on this, and there are some, but it doesn't make them less valid because there's less people complaining about them. And yeah, and the elephant in the room is always going to be why Ryu doesn't have weapons. For me personally, that is the most biggest flaw this game has, is the fact that your main character, your actual poster boy of this game, is just completely absent in his skills. Initially, I was under the impression that, like half a year ago pretty much, that this game was, I think I have one more boss fight. We have two more boss fights. This game was, oh yeah, so I could have just played that instead. Initially, I was under the impression that the Dragon Sword in this game is going to have the same depth that the Dragon Sword in Ninja Gaiden 3 has. I was incredibly naive to even think that. I was extremely wrong about that. I was so far off the mark with that thought process that it is criminal. I feel cheated a little bit But yeah, the Dragon Sword in this game feels great. Gleam attacks feel amazing. They feel really rewarding, unless you're fighting Kagachi. As you can see, it's just parry fest, right? No one's good at it. You can just abuse it. Specifically on this boss too. But yeah, the Ryu does not have even a fraction of the depth he has in Ninja Gaiden 3 with just the one sword. Just Dragon Sword alone in Ninja Gaiden 3 is just vastly superior in anything Ryu is capable in this game. I would admit, 4's Ryu does feel better in a lot of areas, especially with Windpath, but in some other areas, not at all. 3 just completely stomps when it comes to depth. And I'm just comparing one weapon to one weapon. I'm not comparing like Falcon Talons and the Scythe and all that. No, I'm just comparing Dragon Sword to Dragon Sword. Ninja Gaiden 3 Dragon Sword and Ninja Gaiden 4 Dragon Sword. It's like the depth is missing, and it feels bad. It honestly does feel bad. And like, oh, I'm gonna do Underworld Drop, and you go, oh shit, I don't have Underworld Drop in this game. It's like, it's whatever. I'll do the flip kicking to the wall. I was like, oh, you don't get the flip kick into the wall because you don't have it in this. I'll change the playlist here so we can watch some. Oh gosh, I gotta do much longer. But yeah, it's like all those things are kind of missing, and it honestly sucks. It sucks that some of your strings are not there. It sucks that they found a solution for the forward inputs while simultaneously creating a problem of, hey, you don't have the forward strings. It's just completely something different. And that sucks. That really does suck. Because imagine if you had square, square, back forward, square, square, square. Like that string is awesome in Razor's Edge. That string is really powerful and really good, especially with the whole triangles. Whole triangles don't exist anymore. It's just one move you do after it. It doesn't change the property of your whole triangles when you are doing a string. In Razor's Edge, every string almost had a different property when you hold heavy at the end of it. You do a launcher, you do a knockback, you do so many different moves, and it added so much more depth just having that one function on Dragon Sword. But alas, they're just not present. They're just not present, and there's nothing we can do about it. It's a shame. Like, case in point right there with the lock-on. Right? UT ends, you see where I send you saw the shuriken went towards this guy, my soft lock is on this guy. This guy is dead. Somehow, my flying swallow still goes towards that guy. For some reason, it still targeted the dead target on the wall, even though I already hit confirmed with my shuriken toss. So the lock-on is an issue that needs to get addressed. Either at free flow combat, directional, like DMC, like Bayonetta. I think Bayonetta does have a little bit of soft on, but it's like, it doesn't get in your way. You don't have to fight it. NG, you always have to fight it. Ninja Gaiden 2, Ninja Gaiden 1, Ninja Gaiden 3. You always have to fight the soft lock all the time. It's been less of an issue in 3 and in 1. 2 was really bad, especially with UTs. Ryu just has a tendency to whiff most of the time. But it's not a soft lock issue, it's just his tracking is bad, especially in NG2 Black. Sigma was much better in that aspect, but it's a reoccurring issue all the time in every edition of it, even in OG. But I digress. Back on track with this game, and resume this so we can see more flaws of this game. But as you see, that whole sequence actually messed up. I almost had no damage on this, but because my Izuna drop went to shit already there, or my flying swallow, I ended up getting hit there. So, it ruins the simulation you're running in your head. Like, okay, this is gonna connect, and I'm gonna do this, and this is gonna happen, then I'm gonna do that. Because that just goes to shit, your whole game plan falls apart. So that's why the lock-on needs to not be as bad as it is. Another gripe is, this is again another personal one, is that why is there so little OTs in the game? Like, Ryu has so many OTs with the Dragon Sword. Why is there's only like 4? He has 2 normal ones and 2 he has 2 armless ones and 2 legless ones, and he has the assassination one. Like, dude, like, that's not enough. I would presume it won't be that hard to make those animations, because they're 2 assets just in an animation lock, right? It's not free flow, there's no variety to it, and there's no, like, elevation doesn't affect it as much either. Your character kind of literally clips too, so it wouldn't be too much of an issue to make those. But again, I digress. The quantity of things in this game is a very, very, very big issue. And going into that, and I know this is a reoccurring thing in hack and slashes nowadays in many, many games, Why the hell is there no unlockables for this game? There is. You can consider Ryu an unlockable thing, and he is by all means, because you can't really use him freely. You have to beat the game to unlock using Ryu. Use an unlockable, sure. The Dark Dragon Sword is an unlockable, sure, but it kind of ends there. There's no costumes for beating Master Ninja. There's no weapon skins for beating anything. You just get a few charms. You get accessories. That's all the unlockables in the game. Technically, again, you can get Boss Rush, you get Ninja Trials, you get all those as unlockables, but those are not your typical unlocks. You know, when people think on endgame unlocks, they think costumes, they think extra weapons. Weapon skin is a new concept, so you know, weapon skin is a thing. I know the NG1 had like technically weapon skins because it had the same moveset but different things, like the saber and all that, and wooden swords. Like, yeah, I get those, but like, you know, having like just a skin that doesn't change the properties of your weapon, that is a concept for the most part. So yeah, unlockables are missing too, and I can't excuse it in this aspect and be like, oh, it's a day one game, because a lot of the day one games just had unlockable costumes. This one has zero. It's you unlock the costumes by swiping. Buy the deluxe edition, you pre-order the game, you get them. No other way for you to do it, and that kind of feels bad. And every time people ask me, like, hey, how do you get the Archfiend Blade? Hey, how do you get NG3? I'm like, swipe, brother. Money. I'm so sorry that I have to deliver this news to you like this, but that's the only way you can get it. Spend money. And that never feels good. Granted, the accessories you unlock in the end game by doing like the side quests or clearing the master trials and all that, it's like, yeah, sure, they're cool, they're very powerful, but like, it just leaves a void feeling in your gut. It's like, there could have been something. You could have beat Master Ninja and get the NG2 Falcon Ninja costume. Or like, you could have beat Master Ninja and get like a not Hayate. I mean, Hayate could have been a thing too. You get a Kenji color change for Yakamo. Just like Kenji got a Yakamo costume in Ragebound. Why can't Yakamo get a Kenji outfit? So like, it just feels bad. These things that have always been there in every game, not just Ninja Gaiden, them being not there, it kind of sucks. These are the main big complaints with this game. I could talk forever on this, but I'll try to make it short, and I think I'll knock it out by the end of this Purgatory thing I'll do. If you guys wonder if I'm going to do a damageless Purgatory, my main problem is there's no point. There's legitimate. All of the Purgatory runs I've done have been first attempts, and I just recorded it, I uploaded it, and I was done with it. If there was any incentive to do these damageless, I would have done it. But I don't see a point in doing a damageless Purgatory besides flex, which I already I flexed enough on this game publicly. Like, I don't want to sound like arrogant, but I got my number one world placement. I got the platinum one as fast as possible as I could. I beat Master Ninja as fast, like almost as fast as anybody else did. Like, that didn't have the game like 2 weeks prior. I'm done flexing. I just want to enjoy the game, and I want to get more content for it. So I don't care about doing Purgatory that has no unlocks and no rewards with damageless, because I just feel it boring. I might still do it one day. Maybe when the weapons come out, I might do it. Anyways, that was the content update part, I guess. But Purgatory has like 6 different difficulties, and all they do is just give you a currency that you don't even need. There's nothing you can do with your ninja coins, nothing you can do with the karma points. They're just sitting there, just rotting. There's nothing you can do with them. I don't spend items, so there's no point of me like getting ninja coins either. That just feels bad. I feel like there should be some type of unlock for this. Maybe when NG4 gets a different edition or a certain update eventually, maybe there'll be content tied to this. But for now, yeah, the unlockable content for doing stuff is a big lacking factor. You do get the Dark Dragon Sword for doing all the boss trials, but it doesn't matter what difficulty you do it on, right? So it's like, it kind of sucks in that aspect. You can just do it on a hero and get it. I did not do that. I just did it on normal just to get it. I haven't even done hero mode content for the most part. I know I kind of want to do it just to get the check mark on the tabs, but that's just the thing. Anyways, back on the issues with the game. So, the main part of like people complain like, oh, the game better, new game better, it's whatever, not new game bad. That's the thing. It's just people being people. They've always been like this. I can promise you when NG5 comes out, everybody's gonna be, oh my god, NG4 was so good, but we didn't appreciate it, we didn't deserve it. It's like, it's gonna be like that. That's whatever. That's just a cycle. Lock-on in this game is arguably one of the most infuriating things about it. A lot of situations can be avoided, and you can absolutely fight it off and make it work properly, but you're still fighting it off at the end. A player should not have to fight off a mechanic of the game that's supposed to help you, especially help you in being proficient and precise. It doesn't do that. If anything, it does the complete opposite of that. Number 3 being unlockable content. They're not there in no way, shape, or form, and that sucks really badly. And the biggest issue with the game, as I've said, is just Ryu not having his weapon. It's a bad thing. It's never been good. I've never championed it. I just give him a chance to rectify this with the DLC, and I'm hoping they will. I'm hoping he gets more than one. That's what I'm hoping for, but that's not what I'm expecting. Now, to a personal gripe of mine is Yakumo's weapons. They're good. They're fine. They're awkward, and they don't. And I hate using this term, but they don't feel right at all. All his weapons have different properties on everything. Nothing matches. It constantly feels like you're doing an RNG like gauntlet when you switch weapons. With the Takami Nakata, it feels kind of Dragon Swordy, right? You do square triangle, it's a launcher. You do square 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 triangle in the air, it's a Izuna drop. Switch to the drill. You do square triangle, that's not the launcher. You gotta do square square triangle to get the launcher. In the air, if you do square triangle, that's not, triple square triangle, that's not the Izuna drop. That's the knockback one. And then you switch to the hammer. Square triangle doesn't launch. You gotta do square 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 triangle to launch. And when you're in the air, square triangle doesn't Izuna drop. And square square triangle doesn't Izuna drop either. You have to press it 3 times to get the Izuna drop. And everything is different, right? It feels really awkward. And that's not even the worst part about it, in my opinion. These are personal. By the way, this is not other people. This is just my own gripe. The one thing I absolutely despise about Yakumo's weapons is the fact that certain actions you do completely put you out of position. Like, you just did a backlash parry with your Takami Nakata, and it's a launcher. But wait, the enemy doesn't get launched, so I'm in the air like an idiot now, open, and the enemy barely even gets staggered because it's just one hit. So by the time you recover in the animation, the other guy can just fuck you over if they don't get launched. You with the drill, you did the backlash parry. Guess what? It automatically puts you 30 feet backwards. And you are so out of position that any move you try to do to close distance is going to result in you getting punished. You try to do Swine Swallow close in, they're going to block it and hit you, or you're just not going to get rewarded. You try to do the Ninja Tool Raven thing to get in, it consumes half your bar and you barely get a payment off of it. It just doesn't do anything. And like, his weapons are so awkward. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like they're following the logic of, I would say, Ninja Gaiden, but they're not even following the logic of like Platinum games. Tell me like one move like Raiden does that puts them 30 feet away from his opponent after performing it. Especially a precise move like a backlash parry. Tell me one time Bayonetta does something that puts her like so far away from the target. And like, pardon me, Bayo has like a lot of close-in options that take like half a frame for her to close targets. Yakamo doesn't have something like that. So the reason why I don't enjoy playing Yakamo is because his kit does not feel right to me at all. And I'm saying this as someone that's been playing hack and slash games since I was fucking 7, man. That is more than 2 decades ago. That is like 20 years plus I've been playing these games non-stop. Just perfecting everything I can in my gameplay style. And it's not just DMC, it's not just Bayonetta, it's not just God of War. I play like off-brand hack and slashes too, and I still do everything. And then I get the platinum, I try to be proficient with the game, and like, I've never felt such like disconnect from and the character's weapons ever. Like, even like Everybody knows the MC4 Dante's Lucifer is one of the most complex weapons to master. Even that feels more right to me, like back when I was young, than Yakumo's weapons do right now. I've tried messing around with him. The only two weapons on Yakumo that feel right are the Assassin's Tools one, which is, is Pandora practically, and his main swords. The drill and the staff feel like they don't belong at all in the Ninja Gaiden mechanics. So I hope they change some of the things with those weapons and make them a little bit more efficient and make sense, hopefully. But yeah, and your 360 motions, it's like I don't even want to get into those, but your 360 motion on every weapon has a different property. Your 360 square doesn't always knock back, doesn't always launches. It's like the staff launches, but the other weapons knock back. It's like, why is there so many different things for the same motion? It's nonsensical. It's not adding complexity or depth. It's just adding awkwardness and uncomfortableness. Of course, you can chalk it up. Hey, skill issue. Sure. Valid. If I spend a couple of hours with him, I can probably absolutely get used to all this awkwardness. But it doesn't change the fact. If you put a beautiful golden handkerchief on top of a pile of shit, it doesn't change the fact that there's a pile of shit under that handkerchief. It's like, if you get the metaphor, that analogy, then I'm just gonna end it there. So I feel like they gotta synchronize Yakumo's strings across all his weapons. It's fine if he has different properties on his enders and stuff, but changing core strings, not good. And on top of that, the Yakumo has one less string on every one of his weapons compared to Ryu. Ryu usually has a 5 hits. Yakumo has a 4 hits. And he doesn't have alternative strings. Ryu has your back forward triangle, your back forward square that goes into alternative strings. They're sadly both launchers, but at least he has strings to spicing up his gameplay a little bit. But Yakumo doesn't have that. He just has one string with every weapon. And again, that's why I don't enjoy playing his other weapons. It's just because I feel like it's masking the fact that he's such a lacking character. The fact that he has all these tools are kind of hiding the fact that, yeah, he's incomplete as fuck. He arguably feels more incomplete because he only has one weapon. But again, if you disagree with that, that's fine. I'm just saying what's actually in the game. If you don't like my opinion on what's in the game, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. And I had the true alliteration disable. Weird. That's why you don't disable it. That's my gripe with Yakamo, and again, I'm hoping they'll fix it up a little bit. For the most part, whenever I play Yakamo, I just stick to 2 weapons anyways, unless I'm trying to style on an enemy. But yeah, he doesn't feel right to play most of the time. He feels cool to look at a lot. He feels satisfying to do stuff with, but he feels awkward to use professionally. Most bosses also feel really good in this game, so it's a plus thing. But they have this weird AI where the more damage you deal with them, the more often they tend to ignore mechanics and staggers. And this is very nitty-gritty shit. You only understand these if you replay the game. But if you want to understand this better, fight Kagachi and do backlash parries with the dragon sword, the dark dragon sword. Watch him just completely block and dodge all of them, even though backlash is supposed to give you a very, very long opening, and it just doesn't happen with some of the bosses. The only 2 bosses in this game that work properly are the DDO commander and Ryu himself, and lo and behold, they are the 2 easiest bosses in the game. Unfortunately, because they work properly and they actually do not cheat the mechanics, they feel very... Oh my god, that pissed me off just to watch. Look at this nonsense. UT charge, he's in front of me. I didn't lock on. My soft lock shifts last second. Goes to a different target. I can bit your ass. I was holding forward directly towards him. This is why when people complain about the lock on, I don't tell them they're wrong. I just say there's ways to prevent it. My mistake here was that I didn't lock onto the target. I believed in the game behaving properly, and it disappointed me. as you saw, I got so like discombobulated, it actually like slid out of my string. But yeah, so there is absolute proof to everything I'm saying so far. I won't make a video unless I have proof of what I'm talking about on screen. So, you know, so when anybody wants to claim that I'm bullshitting or I'm lying or if I don't know what I'm talking about, they can just look at the screen and see for themselves. Because I don't want to argue with someone that hears what I'm saying, ignores it, doesn't watch the screen of what's happening, of the examples I'm giving, goes in the comments and starts arguing with me about something they know fucking nothing about. That just feels pointless to me. So I tend to offer evidence on screen, just for you guys to believe that what I'm saying is literally on, like, you can see it with me. I'm not making shit up. I'm not crazy, guys. But that aside, this is where the community is with this game right now, is that people are, the newcomers really love this game, like a lot. The newcomers really care for this game, like a little too much. Like they fight to death over this game. And as someone that's diehard hack and slash, like stan, I should say, relax, like calm down a bit, because if you think this product is perfect, it will never get improved. You have to be honest with its flaws. You have to point out its flaws so everybody's aware of the flaws, so when we give feedback to the developers, they know what to fix. If you pretend this game is perfect, one, you're wrong. Two, you'll never see it get better. You're gonna settle for it being the flawed piece of shit it is sometimes. Not saying NG4 is a piece of shit, but you know, something staying stale because you don't want to fucking admit to the flaws, it's a bad thing, man. It doesn't mean you're a big fan of it, you're a diehard fan of it. It just means you're ignorant of the flaws. That's not good. That makes you not a fan. Like, it's on the contrary, it makes you someone that's not a fan of it because you're not aware of the whole game. You just have rose-tinted glasses. So, and for some reason, everybody's playing Ninja Gaiden 3. And that makes me happier, because if you guys have been with me throughout the year, you know that I've been, like, on a crusade trying to convince people to play that game. Give it a shot. Play Razor's Edge. It's the best NG's combat, like, hands down. Yeah, sure, story sucks. Some of the bosses are some of the worst bosses in the fucking franchise. I agree to all those, but when you're fighting normal enemies, the game is fun. So just do that and settle on that for a bit and enjoy it. It's a good experience. That was a lot of OTs. Ended off with a UT. I am so fucking predictable. Anyways, and again, as I said, I don't want to repeat myself again, but this game has flaws, and we need to point these flaws out to people, to the people that matter. I'm not gonna say names. No names will be said, but if you have actual complaints with footage and all that, you know, send it to Platinum, send it to Team Ninja, deliver some respectfully, with all due respect, post your stuff to them and ask, like, hey, can this be improved? Can this be fixed? And they'll probably consider it, because without demand, nothing gets done nowadays. So, with that being said, I don't want to keep rambling on this. I feel my voice is kind of starting to fade again a little bit. I want to fully heal my throat, so I'm probably going to cut this off right now. Big important, and I probably should have said this at the beginning of the thing, but big important thing happening tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow, in 2 days. On the 21st, I'll just say it like that. That's on the 21st. There is going to be a showcase being held on. Oh, never mind. It's November 20th. I thought it was 21st. So never mind. Xbox Partner Preview, November 20th, 2025 at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and 6 p.m. GMT. I don't know what that stands for, so I'm just going to say GMT. Someone educate me. New games right around the corner. Come watch Xbox Partner Preview on November 20th for sneak peeks at third-party titles like 007, First Light, Reanimal, and Tides of Annihilation, and more. So maybe we'll see the two Masters DLC be showcased here. I kind of do hope there's at least a very short trailer showing more than one weapon per character, at least for Ryu. I don't care if Yakamo gets more weapons. I think he has enough already. They just need to improve his weapons. And yeah, that's it for now. This is going to be tomorrow. And if there is anything worthwhile, I will cover it. But I can promise you that Tides of Annihilation is going to be a thing I will cover going forward on my channel. because the NG hype is past, and I think I've done what I wanted to do with this game. I'm not done with NG. I'm just saying the promotional period has ended. The game is out. Everybody has their hands on it. They don't need me to hype it up anymore. That period is over. I will cover NG. I will play it. I will stream it. I'll still do whatever I want to do with it. It's not gonna stop. Don't worry about it. Don't panic. I'm still gonna be the Ninja Gaiden guy to go come to on a positive dialogue. Even though this video is a little gloomy, but I'm just spitting facts. I'm just saying what's been happening. I'm informing you of what's been going on Twitter. But Tides of Annihilation is going to be the next game I'm going to be covered till Onimusha Way of the Sword comes out. So, if you're interested in those two games, I hope I'll see you guys around for that. But until then, it's going to be more NG and Tides of Annihilation. So, I think Onimusha is going to come up before Tides of Annihilation by the look of it. So, most likely going to be covering that. And I'm going to deal with both those games the same way I did. I'm going to platinum them. I'm going to try to get, if there's a leaderboard, I'll try to get up on number 1 rank as fast as I can, as best as I can, as always. And yeah, that's it. But hope you guys don't mind the rambling. I know a lot of you are very nice about it. Say I have a soothing voice and such, which I appreciate it very much. I disagree, but I appreciate it very much for you to say such nice things to me. And I hope the content finds you well with this. I hope you enjoying the content I'm making. And again, apologies for the absence for a little bit. My throat was destroying me for the past 2 weeks. I could not speak, I could not yell, which is something I really like doing. I'm playing video games because it's hype. I couldn't even sing anymore. So that was also a really, really depressing period for me. But I'm well. I'm better now. Thank you for everybody that's been wishing me well. And yeah, there's no more content for me to cover unless you guys want me to do a master challenge, master ninja chapter thing, like walk through, like play I don't know, guide or something on how to go through Master Ninja. I can do those, but I will only be doing it with Ryu. Again, I don't find Yakamo fun. It's fine if you do, but I find him awkward, and I don't want to use Yakamo with 2 weapons because weapons feel too good. I need to spend a little bit more time with him. I think I need to spend a lot more time with him to be good enough that the problems with him doesn't bother me. Just like the problems with Ryu doesn't bother me. So, yeah. So, I just need a little bit more time to get good at the character because I want to make it an experience for you all to watch. With that said, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, regardless of NG news or not. Take care, and I'll see you guys on the stream. Bye-bye.